Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. In today's video we are going to be making over this staircase. I'm going to be removing the carpet, cleaning it up, maybe doing a little bit of sanding, painting, and all the sort of fun stuff. So for this I will need some gloves and some X-Acto knife, and then something to take out the staples if there's any left. And that's about it for the carpet removal. For the painting, I will get to that once we get to that part of this project. So without further ado, let's get started. So I do believe this is probably the hardest part of this makeover, is trying to remove this carpet. So I have my gloves on, my knife, and then this is, I think, woodworking chisel, and it has a nice pointy edge that I think it's going to be perfect to get under the staples. So we had cut the carpet just to see what's underneath it before we decided to do this project, so I'm just going to continue from that. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, my name is Sonja, and on this channel you'll find tons of home decor DIYs, from home decor projects to actual dupes, decor dupes, and trash to treasures and all sorts of stuff. So if you think you might enjoy these type of videos, I would love it if you consider subscribing by pressing that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell, because lately my uploads have been a little bit wonky since we are in midst of a huge reno, and I just really don't have time to be doing home decor DIYs, since I am doing all the home renovation type of things, from painting, staining, removing things, adding things, and I am recording all of it for you guys. It's taking a while for these projects to be completed to the point where I can actually share it. So like I said, make sure that notification bell is on. Even if you're subscribed from before, make sure you check it, because the uploads are a little bit not on schedule. So this part, like I had mentioned, was probably the hardest thing to remove. That carpet was on there. I felt like I was never gonna take it off. I did not work out that morning, but I think I got the workout in just by doing this stuff. So I did end up getting some crowbar just to lift off these things that were holding down the carpet. And for the staples, which you will see later on, I did end up getting pliers to remove all the staples, and there were so many, it was ridiculous, because that chisel just was not working for me, and which I should have remembered from the time when we were removing the carpet upstairs on the main floor and adding laminate. That was while back, that the easiest thing to use are the pliers. So this project probably took me about a month to do. We did have a trip in between that I took, and then I ended up getting sick as well. So it took a while to get it done. But the project itself, aside from me getting sick and having a trip, it would probably take a good 2 weeks to do, just because you have to wait for curing time. And for some reason, it did take a while for the stain to cure. And also, that could be factors like the temperature in the house, the humidity levels, and all that stuff can contribute. So just give yourself plenty of time to do this type of project. I will be also doing this for the upstairs railings and all the hardwood staircase going up. So it's gonna be interesting with the dogs. I think I'm going to have to sleep downstairs on the main floor when I do that, because they're gonna be wanting to come up, especially in the mornings. And Duke also likes to just sleep in our ensuite. So but he will sleep where I'm at, so that way I was thinking I might just sleep on the main floor. But the problem with that is that the main floor is completely taken apart, so there's nowhere for me to really sleep.
I know that I haven't been who I was. I am supposed to be the one you can trust. I feel so useless 'cause I let you down. I hope there's some way I can make it alright, 'cause I know that you...
So the carpet is all off. It is quite disgusting what was underneath it. And now I'm going to vacuum all of this mess up with my shop vac.
I swear I'll try my best to always be there. And I want you to know that I'm lost without you. I'm not without you. I hope I can show what you mean to me, 'cause I don't know what to do if you go. Ooh, I just don't know what to do if you go. I've been so selfish and made you believe that you're not good enough, but you're all I need. I take you places that you've never been. I would give you the world if you let.
Once it was all vacuumed up, I did go over each step and just made sure that I pulled out all the staples, which I did miss quite a few. So I just went in and pulled those out. So that way I had no staples. I did end up finding one or two even after when I started staining.
I can't show what you mean to me, 'cause I don't know what to do if you go. I just don't know what to do if you
At this time, I have decided to remove the carpet at the bottom of the stairs as well as the trim, just because we are probably going to put either leftover vinyl that we're putting upstairs or the luxury vinyl, or I'm going to just buy a box of a cheaper vinyl just so it looks nicer than the carpet. Because after I removed all that carpet off the stairs and saw how disgusting it was underneath it, I decided this needed to go as well.
We don't belong here. I want more out of life. The longer we stay here, our boots get stuck in the mud. Let's pack up a life, baby, and call it a night. 'Cause the longer we stay here, the harder the fight. I said, hey, yeah, 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 call it a start by leaving behind what's breaking our hearts. I said, hey, yeah, 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 follow the spark. Ain't nothing but a one way. We won't regret this. Let's kick kiss the past goodbye. I'm longing to live this free life I've been hearing about. You will see us howling like wolves in the night, 'cause nothing is stronger than wanting what you might get. I said, hey, yeah, 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 call it a start by leaving behind what's breaking our hearts. I said, hey, yeah, 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 follow the spark, ain't nothing but a one way. Ain't no worries, ain't no worries. Don't you worry about a thing.
Once all the mess was cleaned up, I proceeded to sand down the sides that were stained and some of the stain that ended up on top of the thread. I think these are called threads, on top of the stairs. So I just used my circular sander with 180 grit sandpaper, and then I followed up with it with 350 grit just to smooth out everything. You don't have to necessarily do this when you are applying gel stain, because that is what I'm going to be applying on top of the stairs. But I just wanted everything to be somewhat even and smooth, and that is why I did that. And it also removes any type of dirt or anything that might be stuck on. If you have been here for a while, you know I did home daycare for many years, and I'm still finding boogers in places that I don't wish to find.
'Cause as long as we're together, home can be a million different things. I said, hey, yeah, 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 call it a start by leaving behind what's breaking our hearts. I said, hey, yeah, 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 follow the spark, ain't nothing but a one way.
Once the sanding was done, I did end up getting a rag and cleaning this up. Later throughout this project, I did actually end up buying a tacky rag that would pick up all the sanding and all the stuff off, like especially because we ended up patching up the wall and painting it. So when you sand down the wall, there's all the drywall dust or the compound dust. So I just wanted to have something that will do a bit of a better job. But and I got that just at our paint store. So once everything was prepped, I dusted the top of the stairs and ended up painting the back of the staircase going up. I was a little bit scared to do this because I was worried what the outcome was going to be like. And I do apologize for showing you my belly here, which I'm sure you don't want to see it. But I ended up painting this back with a white paint, and like I said, I was a little bit scared of doing this because it was such a big job, and I didn't, had that mentality, don't paint certain woods and all this stuff. But I am so pleased that I did, because it turned out absolutely amazing. I am using Benjamin Moore trim paint in Decorators white, which is also the color of my kitchen. Which will be the color of my kitchen, I should say. So I wanted all my trims to match that color. So before I painted the sides of the stairs, I did want to put one coat of the stain onto the handrail. So I am going to be using, I did originally start with a bristle brush, but I did not love the way it was going on. So I ended up getting a foam brush. And all you do is you work in little sections, you apply the stain, and then you wipe it off. And I did the same process for the top of the stairs as well. Now, did take forever for this one to dry for some reason. Well, I do think it was because I was applying over top of the existing stain. Even though I sanded a little bit, I did not sand it all the way down, but it did take forever to cure or dry, because before you apply the second coat, you don't want it to be tacky. So I think on the back of the jar it said 48 hours. Online it said to wait 72 hours, but it said that it has to be smooth, not tacky. And it kept being tacky. I think it took good 4 days for it to feel somewhat not tacky. And then the second coat, I think it took a little bit longer. So I was glad that I did this now before I ended up doing anything else, because it gave me a little bit of extra time to dry. So now I'm going to apply this paint the same color of Decorators white onto the sides of the stairs. And I did, originally I wasn't gonna tape the stairs, but then I ended up taping them just to make the project a little bit neater. Not sure if I mentioned this, but the top part or the bottom of the top stairs and the sides, it took 2 coats to paint, and I did buy a really good trim brush from the paint store that I used for painting this. But then when I was applying the second coat, I did go with a small foam roller into the larger areas. I just think the coverage was a little bit better. If I have not done that, I would have probably gone with a third coat, but the foam roller did help smooth it out and cover it up a little bit better. But I do definitely recommend a good brush for trimming and just so your edges are neater. Breaking our hearts, I said, hey, yeah, 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 follow the spark, ain't nothing but a one way. Ain't nothing but a one way. So this is what the stairs look painted. I just love this shade of white. I did have to put a gate up on top, and I also taped it up. So you definitely wanted to make sure that that paint is fully dry before you put your painter's tape so you do not peel it off. I did wait probably, I think it was 3 days for it to completely dry. So now I'm going to be applying the gel stain on top, and again I'm using the foam brush, and then once I covered everything, I am going to wipe everything down. This worked the best, and they do recommend that you do wipe it off the gel stain. Like I showed before, I'm using General Finishes gel stain in color black, or the stain black. You want your rag to be lint free, although I had so many issues with dog hair flying everywhere that it didn't matter if my rag was lint free or not. So once your coat is done and dried, this first coat on the raw wood, it didn't take very long to dry. I did wait the 48 hours, but then you sand it lightly down, and then you apply your second coat. And I am just using the round sanding pad from my sander, the 300, I think 350 or 380 grit. So just a smooth, smoother sandpaper, and you don't want to sand it so you're actually sanding the stain off. You just want to rough it up a little bit. So I did repeat this process 3 times, and as you can see, I did every other step, and then I'm going to apply my clear coat, and I am using General Finishes clear coat, the water-based one. And since you are waiting since I was using the water-based top coat, you definitely wanted your stain to be 100% dry before you apply it on. So I did wait almost a week for the third coat to dry off before I applied the top coat. And even between the top coats, you also want to sand. So, and I did applied 3 different top coats, and then in between each one I did give it a little bit of sanding. And like I said, the top coat is General Finishes High Performance Top Coat, and like I said, they recommend 3 coats of it. I just love the way this ended up looking once it was finished. Did satin, because I didn't wanted it to be too shiny. So I did the satin. You could do any sheen you want.
We stay here, our boots get stuck in the mud. If you feel lonely, I will be here and wait for the sun. It's getting closer, but it will never let us down. Here by the ocean, fire is burning, flares in the wind. Over the mountains, I see the moon.
The top coat definitely didn't take nearly as long to dry. So once, I think it took about 2 days, then I ended up taping up the other stairs. And the reason why I did the every other step is because we still needed to have somewhat of an access downstairs. Unfortunately, this is where my other dog sleeps, is in the basement, so I had to have the gate up, and I couldn't go downstairs for too long because he would break down the fence and run downstairs just to be with me. So I did have to do all of my workouts upstairs, which was not fun. But anyway, so I ended up doing the opposite stairs once everything was dry, and did the same process where I taped it up just to make things neater. Now, I did buy this tape at Home Depot. It wasn't their most expensive tape, but it wasn't their cheap one either. And it did not work very well for the stain. The stain did bleed a little bit onto the paint, so I did have to touch up at the end of the project a little bit of paint just to make it look a little bit neater. I wasn't bothered by it that much, but my husband was very much bothered by it, so I did have to touch it up. And I followed the exact same steps here as I did with the other steps. I did one coat, waited for it to dry, did a little bit of sanding, then applied the second coat, waited for it to dry, sanded down a little bit, third coat, and then the same exact thing I did with the top coat. So, like I said, it is a process. It's not hard work aside from removing the carpet, but it is a process. But be patient with it because I absolutely love the way my stairs turned out. They are showing all the dog hair, which, but at least I see it. And once I vacuum it, it's clean. I don't have to worry about all that stuff to be underneath it like it was with the carpet.
We belong. A new day will soon begin. That's what I've been here for.
Like I said, I absolutely love the end result, and I hope you had enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful, and the instructions were pretty clear. If not, shoot me down a message and leave me a message down below, so that way I can help you out with anything that you might need. And I will also try and link everything that I have used in a description box. So until next time, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you all so much for watching.